Starting something new, whether it's a faceless YouTube channel, a new side hustle, or an online business, is exciting until it is not. This initial rush of excitement fades quickly when you have a million tabs open in your browser, watched 10 half-finished YouTube tutorials, and have a brain full of what-ifs. Overwhelm is the dream killer that hits you before you have even started. And here's the truth. Most people stay stuck forever because they try to overcome overwhelm with more thinking. And unfortunately, more thinking is not the answer for it. So in today's video, I'm gonna cover 7 steps with you, how you can overcome overwhelm when you're starting a new business, specifically YouTube automation in this case. And then after that, I'm also gonna show you 3 things that you should never do when you are feeling overwhelmed and starting something new. And when you feel paralyzed by the fear of too many options. So by the end of this video, you will have a clear path, less noise, and more confidence to move forward. And I'm speaking from experience here because I have been in the online business space for around 6 or 7 years. I started with e-commerce, dropshipping stuff, and now I've been doing YouTube for 4 years. And when I started my first own YouTube automation channel, I also felt overwhelmed. And it's very normal because when you start a new business, there's so much you can learn and so many options you can take to start with. I spent weeks obsessing over the highest RPM niches, ways to outsource content, loopholes to get monetized quicker and start earning money faster. And the whole problem was I had all this information that I sort of learned and finished, but I didn't post a single video yet. I felt productive in a way because I was putting so many hours in, but I had no output to show for, no views or no subscribers gotten, or even the channel launched. And that is because I wanted it to be perfect from the start. But in the end, there's only one way to get over the fear and anxiety and that feeling of overwhelm. And that is by just doing what is necessary to get the results that you are looking for. And that is dependent on the market you are in. But for YouTube automation, this is starting a channel, finding a niche, and actually posting videos that can get views. Because when it comes to YouTube automation, watching random AI personality videos or tutorials is not gonna get you views. Watching top 5 niche videos is not going to get you views. Overanalyzing SEO is not going to get you views either. Changing your logo and banner is definitely not going to get you views. And getting a pre-monetized channel or implementing the latest viral hacks will probably not get you views either. The only thing you should be focusing on when you're starting a YouTube automation channel is making sure that you get views somehow. And you get views by posting videos. And you can start posting videos when you decided on a niche you're going to test. So when starting out, focus on a system to find a viral niche and then actually implement this niche and start making videos, because you will only find out if a niche works by taking action, launching a channel, publishing that video, and seeing if it hits or not. You will never get views by thinking about how good a market could be. And you see, it took me and most of the clients that I work with over 50 videos to get real results in and start seeing something actually work. So get out of the mindset of having it perfect from the first try and just start working on your experience in the market and learning by taking action. Because you're probably not going to be a one-hit wonder, and you just need to learn to be disciplined, to keep on working, keep on testing, keep on uploading video until you find something that works for you. So let's go over the 7 ways on how to overcome the overwhelm to start. Number 1 is focusing on the first 5%. So instead of thinking 10 steps ahead, start with what is the most important step that you have to take next that will give you the most results. What is the first tiny action that you can take today to start moving? So for YouTube, this would be doing niche research and understanding which niches work. Often when you feel overwhelmed, it's because you're thinking way too far ahead to the point where it doesn't even benefit you right now to solve the problems that are about to come because you're not even there yet. So start focusing on the first 5% first. What is the very first thing you can do right now to start moving and building your momentum? Don't try to plan out your whole content strategy for the coming 2 months, but start with looking which niche might work for you right now that you are going to test first. And this goes for any other side hustle or online business too. Don't try to figure out everything at the same time when you're starting, but just start with the smallest step that you can take right now that is really going to move the needle. So when you shrink the scope, the pressure starts fading away and your momentum starts building. And the reason why most people never succeed is because they try to take on the whole mountain from the start on, and then they just get paralyzed and don't do anything. But the truth is, you only need to take the first step, and then the next step will reveal itself after that. Simplicity and the 5% is how you outsmart Overwhelm. And there's a great quote that goes by this from Arthur Ashe. I've seen this in the book The War of Art. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Now, number 2 to fighting Overwhelm is embrace a bad first draft, because perfection is the enemy of progress. You have to give yourself permission to suck at something that you are new to. You don't need the perfect niche, you don't need the perfect script, you don't need the perfect voiceover, and you don't need the perfect thumbnail. Thinking that you can get it perfect on the first try is delusional anyway. Perfection is a trap disguised as productivity. Most people stay stuck at the starting line because they think they have to nail it the first time and it has to be perfect, but it's never going to be perfect. Your first video, your first new business idea, your first attempt at starting a new side hustle, it's gonna suck, and you have to just embrace that. Because great work doesn't start great, it becomes great by iteration over time. And you should try to implement this mindset shift. Done is better than perfect. Because when you allow yourself to create a bad first draft, you remove the pressure to impress and you actually just get started. And you open the door to actual progress. So yeah, in YouTube automation, your first niche might be bad. Your first script might be bad engagement-wise and written. Your first thumbnail, no one might click on it. That's completely okay. The win here is not being flawless, but the win is actually uploading your first video. The faster you get that first draft online, the faster you start learning by actually being in the game, and you see what doesn't work and what does work. Perfection slows down beginners. And I've been doing coaching for the past 3 or 4 years. I've worked with hundreds of people. And what I've seen is that the biggest thing is that people just do not post or do not start posting because they are so much in their head of if what they are thinking about is going to work. And then they quit after posting maybe 2, 3, 4 videos, but it's so unreasonable to think that you can make something new work with just 3 or 4 attempts. Progress rewards the ones who are not afraid to start. So let me give you another quote from The Lean Startup by Reid Hoffman. If you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late. Now, tip number 3 for overcoming overwhelm is the 1 hour rule. Do not try to start a business in a single day or even in a single weekend, but set a timer for 1 hour a day and be consistent with that. You have to learn how to build momentum without burning out. A good way to reduce overwhelm is to stop thinking in projects, but start thinking in power hours of focused work. It's unrealistic and exhausting when you start a side hustle to think that this has to take over your life. You have to be able to implement it in your daily life without getting tired or burned out from it over time. So set a timer, eliminate distractions, turn off your phone or put it on silent mode, and just start working on the most important tasks like we talked about before for 60 minutes a day, and commit to that one task that will move you forward. Maybe that's finding your niche, maybe that's scripting your first video, maybe that's making your first thumbnail or doing SEO, it doesn't matter. Just start implementing and taking action to what gets you results. Overwhelm comes from thinking you have to do everything right now. So stop thinking that you need to finish the whole project now. Start thinking in those focus hours where you work on the tasks and you see completing these tasks as wins. Because your peace will come from knowing and thinking that this 1 hour of focused work every single day is enough to build out that business to where you want to get it. All right, tip number 4 to overcoming overwhelm is creating a minimal viable routine. You have to build a repeatable process. So simplified for YouTube automation, this would be researching a viral topic, writing the script, doing the voiceover, editing the video, making the thumbnail, and uploading your video to YouTube. It's not about having a perfect plan and knowing how everything works, but it comes down to taking action and repeating this until it works for you. Overwhelm comes from doing too much too soon instead of working on the steps that actually move you forward, that are pretty simplified, as you just heard. Because when you start even a YouTube channel, you don't need the most fancy editing. You don't need to do crazy SEO work. You don't have to make the best beautiful thumbnail. You just got to start posting videos and creating videos and understanding how the game of creating videos works and finding viral ID. The goal here is to create a system where you don't have to force and talk yourself into working every single time. because this causes a lot of resistance. You want to keep this mental resistance as low as possible by making the barrier of entry as easy as it can be. Because your routine should be so simple where you can stick to it even on your worst days. If you do this long enough and be consistent, it turns into a habit, and then you can scale up that habit. Start small, stay consistent, and let your routine carry you through the chaos. Tip number 5 to overcoming the overwhelm is muting the noise. Stop binge watching YouTube tutorials. Pick one course, one mentor, one program, one whatever that you verified and follow that. You need less input and more output. Start producing instead of consuming. Because every single day in every market, there's new videos coming out, new tutorials, new hacks, new this, new that, and everyone always has the latest new tech to go viral quicker and make more money. But it all comes down to the basic of what I just said, which is find viral ideas and make videos, and then it will work regardless. We live in an information overload era with TikTok shorts, Instagram reels, long form YouTube videos from multiple people. It's also accessible. You have Reddit where you can get information. And it's very easy to get in a loophole of just consuming all this content and feeling like you are too late for everything because people keep on coming out with new stuff here and there to get the click. Most people fail not because they don't know what to do, but because they try to follow everyone's advice at the same time. And again, felt overwhelmed. So mute the noise and follow one mentor, course, or strategy. Commit to it for 90 days and do not switch. Because there's a lot of things that work, a lot of things that don't work, but one thing is guaranteed, and that is if you switch between models or strategies every other week, it's not going to work out for you. Success does not come from doing everything, but it comes from doing one thing very well. So please trust that the clarity comes from taking action and not from consuming more. Now, here we have a beautiful quote from James Clear in the book Atomic Habits. Success is more about doing the things you know you should do than discovering the next breakthrough idea. Tip number 6 in overcoming overwhelm is borrow confidence from others. So follow people who are where you want to go. There's a lot of online communities, there's a lot of YouTube channels, there's a lot of places where you can find like-minded people that have done where you want to go. Because you do not have to do this alone. One of the best ways to beat overwhelm is seeing other people do and work towards the goals that you also want to achieve. If you start surrounding yourself with other action takers, whether that's a community, a group chat, or a blog, that motivation and momentum becomes contagious and will spread over to you too. Their progress will make your goal feel achievable. Plus, you can ask questions and avoid rookie mistakes. And this is exactly how I came up with this video topic, because in my own community, someone told me that one of their mental roadblocks to building their YouTube automation channel was this feeling of mental overwhelm and not knowing where to start. So now I'm making this video for her to overcome this feeling and actually make more progress. You can join my free 5-day YouTube automation challenge in the description below and join a community of like-minded people who work on this side hustle. So we're now diving into number 7, and after that we will have the 3 pitfalls that you have to avoid when you're feeling overwhelmed. So tip 7 to fighting that feeling of overwhelm is you have to start stacking wins and not tasks. Start prioritizing small wins and start cutting off the long to-do list. Because uploading your first imperfect video is 1,000 times better than watching 10 hours of courses on YouTube. Not all tasks are created equal, and when you feel overwhelmed and you have a lot of tasks, this list starts to feel like a guilt list and not a to-do list. So decide if you want to build real momentum or you just want to burn some time. The goal here is not to stay busy, but it's to stack wins and actually move forward. And the win here is anything that moves you forward towards your goal. So it's not making the $5,000 or $10,000 a month. It's actually picking that niche, finding that viral video ID, doing the script, the voice over the video, and uploading your first video. These are the real momentum builders and the wins you have to start focusing on. So look at it this way. Don't ask yourself, what do I have to do today? Ask yourself, what is one thing that I can do today that I see as a win that will build my confidence and my momentum. Finishing these small, meaningful tasks creates a feedback loop of progress. And you will start, over time, you'll start associating your side hustle and these small wins with accomplishments and not with anxiety. So do not chase productivity for its own win, but start chasing wins. the wins that will move the needle forward towards your goal. Now we have 3 crucial things that you must avoid when you are feeling overwhelmed. So now that we do know what to focus on, here are some traps you have to avoid to basically stop your momentum. And number 1 is that you have to stop waiting to feel like you're ready. And this goes hand in hand with the perfectionism we talked about at the start. You are never going to be 100%, or it's like your video and niche are never going to be a golden 100% the best there is, especially if it's your first one ever. You cannot expect to be a one-hit wonder and nail it on your first try. Sometimes it happens to lucky people, but it's not often the case. If you're waiting for the stars to be aligned, for that perfect moment, that perfect niche, perfect schedule, the perfect mindset, the perfect setup, you will be waiting forever. Readiness is not a feeling, but it is a decision. You cannot assume that everyone that does something or is successful waited for success to come around. They took action and they were not afraid to be a fool when starting something new. No one is born with that feeling of, yes, I'm ready and this is going to be perfect. You have to go through the trenches for that. Because you build confidence when you are scared, but still do it. Confidence is a side effect of taking action. And this is why you cannot afford to wait, because the longer you wait, the more that fear builds up. And the more this builds up, the more overwhelmed you feel and the less likely you are to take action again. Because here's the truth, you will learn more from 1 week of taking messy action than from 6 months of overthinking and only doing research. Progress is not about being fearless, but it's about moving despite being afraid. And Zig Ziglar said it best, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Step number 2 that you have to avoid is overloading yourself with options. Because having too many ideas leads to no action. Stick with something for 90 days at least without changing paths. You will feel overwhelmed from having too many options to take, and this will kill your momentum. The worst thing you can do when you already feel overwhelmed is opening 5 new tabs, opening Reddit, opening YouTube tutorials, and maybe opening a community and start brainstorming more ideas. Start limiting your options with intention, because your brain can only focus on so many things at the same time. The side hustle graveyard is filled with people who were researching more options. So pick 1 niche, 1 monetization strategy, and 1 content type, and stick with that for 90 days before switching. You see, the thing is, you can always pivot later if that is what you want. But right now, you need the traction more than you need flexibility. Clarity does not come from consuming more ideas, but from taking actions toward that win. It comes from doing that one thing that you already know you should be doing. So reduce options, increase execution, and escape analysis paralysis. Now, the third and the last thing you have to avoid to not feel overwhelmed, or once you are feeling overwhelmed, is do not compare your day 1 with someone else's day 300, because you are just getting started. But this thing called social media is very good in making you feel like you are behind while you're not. You're just starting something new and learning it. You are not supposed to be at their level right now. You are a beginner, you just started this. So do not compare yourself with a bigger channel like that, because that's how they started too. The only one you should be comparing yourself with is who you were yesterday. Are you right now taking more action than you were last week? Are you learning new things? Are you executing new things? And are you experimenting? Because that is real growth. And for now, that is enough. So again, if you actually want to start building your YouTube automation channel and you need some more accountability or a clear step-by-step roadmap, click the link in the description and join my free 5-day Faceless YouTube challenge. It's a free challenge you can join on my school community. 5-hour plus course, you get access to me, I do weekly calls in there too. You have nothing to lose, but it is a focus area where you can actually take action and get help from a community. Now, one last quote by William James from the book The 5-Second Rule. Action may not always bring happiness, but there's no happiness without action. Now, if you also want to know what the possibilities are of working in my program, I have a video right here which is a client testimonial with my client Jeremy. He's right now doing over $8,000 every single month, and he did that within 3 months of working together. So if you want to feel inspired, watch this video.